Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about my league start plan for PoE 3.26. I'm going to do some little, not like a full build guide today, but we're going to go over what build I am going to play. A quick POV of where I plan to be, just kind of like a beginner setup for this build, and why I'm playing it, and what it is. So, before I jump in, if you do me a favor, click the like, comment, subscribe button down below. It means a lot to me. And if you have any questions about the build, leave them down below, or my plans. But basically, I decided pretty early on in the process that I wasn't really interested in playing minion build anymore, which is kind of one of my things I love to do. Just nothing was really speaking to me. So my second plan is that I know I wanted to play a string stacker at some point in this league. So I decided I'm going to start as a marauder. And my actual original plan was to play Volcanic Fissure of Snaking, but I have zero interest in playing into that meta. So I'm going to be playing something else, and this is actually a build that was popular during the Freesia League. So during Freesia League, there was a Ancestral Commander as one of the Ascendancies. It replaced Juggernaut. Basically, give you a bunch of endurance charges, like a free mini Defiance of Destiny. It was pretty cool. But one of the builds that became popular was Cyclone, General's Cry, Tectonic Slam. So that's what I'm going to be playing. Nice little Cyclone build for a league start. Very defensive. We're playing a Juggernaut. I don't have any gameplay footage, but if you go ahead and just kind of search for this on other channels on YouTube, you can definitely find some examples of this from the Freesia event. Biggest difference between that and this one, honestly, the only one I found was like the Ancestral Commander in Freesia event had a +3 endurance charge, max endurance charge note on its tree. We only get +1, but it's still very good. Just not quite as good early. Still definitely gets there. I just want to talk about the build real quick. So two 6-link setups, Cyclone, Shockwave. We're gonna use a mace just because of where it lands on the tree. I'd actually really like to use a staff, and it seems like it couldn't swap to a staff eventually, like using an eventuality rod for +1 endurance charges. Endurance charges really make the build pop off. We're using endurance charge on melee stun on both our 6-link setups, the Cyclone setup and the General's Cry setup. If you didn't know, Tectonic Slam Cataclysm also scales with endurance charges. So the cool thing about the General's Cry Tectonic Slam setup is that Tectonic Slam removes your endurance charges. It removes them from the mirages. It doesn't remove them from you. So they just do their one swing. They die. Their endurance charges don't matter anyways. So it's just kind of really nice. Little interesting feature there. So this is on auto exert. Basically all we're going to be doing is spinning, exploding things up with Herald of Ash. We have Herald of Purity, a couple of Blood and Sand, Flesh and Stone stuff. Leap slamming, cycloning, blowing up screens, and our clones come out and deal the damage. We are going to self-cast Desecrate, I think, most likely. I'm going to play this by ear and see how I feel. Basically, you only need to cast Desecrate on bosses, though, so that you have something to summon for your General's Cry. That's pretty much the build. I'll definitely be able to put the POV down below, but let's go over the items. I put in some really cheap items to hopefully get us started here. I went like really cheap. As you can see, my DPS number is super low. Defenses are actually pretty good though. We'll talk about the config there. These two rings, Combs rings, super cheap on league start. They just give you +1 endurance charge. Every endurance charge is about 9 to 10% more DPS. So these are really nice rings. Magnate, we're gonna get to 400 strength very easily. So adding this on makes sense. Everything else on here is just really simple yellow gear, max life, increased armor. We're going full armor. We're doing some stuff on the tree. It's like we're going to do the unwavering stance, so we can't evade, but we cannot be stunned. So there's no point in getting evasion gear. We're a Juggernaut. Let's just go full armor. Embrace it, you know. Other items, yeah, just like really simple gear. Jewels, really simple, nothing crazy here. This is like super league start stuff. The one thing I do want to add is that you have two items in here that I want to talk about. One is Corpse Walker. Corpse Walker is interesting to me because I kind of want to play it just for a quality of life kind of setup. This will allow me to not use Desecrate at all, even on bosses. But I think what the plan will be for me is if a Corpse Walker with +1 endurance charges pops up really cheap, I'll definitely pick it up and start using it. That gives you like 10% more DPS again because of their endurance charge. To go along with that, there is the new Relic Ashes. We'll see if the endurance charge version of the new Relic Ashes and Patience is useful. We don't particularly need it, but if it comes with +1 endurance charge, it's something I could use later on as well for a couple of different build ideas. We're going to use the Magnate. Mentioned that already. The other unique I'll be looking for early is the Merohi Urki. I don't know what the price of this is going to be. Let me pull up my webpage here. So we have prices from Necropolis League is the last ones I could find. Basically, it started off at 20C, went down from there. This is a T0 unique, but doesn't see a lot of play. It doesn't have a lot of builds that would use it very well. This one actually does use it very well. You don't know the prices from Settlers League of when this was, but so the problem is, if in Settlers League it's a T0 unique, it disenchants or a lot of dust at the disenchanter and can be used for recombinating. So we'll see what the price of it is on League Start, but I don't expect many people to be playing this build, and there's not really another build that would use this item. So if it's cheap, we can grab it day one. If it's expensive, we'll have to grind it out a little bit, but I'm just going to pop back into our POV here. We swap our item out for Moroi Urki. This is a 113% more damage multiplier. Very strong, obviously. So we're going to keep our eye out for that. Again, the mace I have in here, it's like literally nothing. It's a 2 tier 3 mods, so you can always do better than that too. I'm being very conservative with gear on this build. Things to talk about on the tree. This is a resolute technique setup. This will swap to crit later, but obviously for the first like day or two, maybe into the third day of the league, probably first 4 void stones. This is probably resolute technique build. I'll do a build update should we keep playing it into a crit version, and make sure to get that out too. Added a couple of cool things. This note right here, I actually didn't even realize this note was in the game. Spirit of War, reduce mana costs, mana reservation efficiency. We do need this. We use all of our mana reserved otherwise. Not much to talk about here. Just some defenses here, elemental resistances. On the config, I basically just put some reses in here. We'll have to fix all of our decks and reses attributes on gear. I left a ton of open spaces on all the rare gear for it to figure that out. It shouldn't be a problem, even with the 2 combs rings for endurance charges. Yeah, configuration's pretty standard. Rage, we're getting shock from this node up here. Don't know if it's any good. It's 3% more damage, but it also does add shock to our build. If you have another source of lightning damage, probably don't need this. But it's right here, and Elemental Masters is still very good. It's roughly 8%, even post nerf, down to 50%. Okay. Mace effects, I'll just leave the tree. It's good stuff. And leave any questions on the tree down below. Last thing I want to touch on is the Mirage Archer interaction, or not the Mirage Archer. Goodness, General's Cry interaction with the Mirages or clones. Biggest thing to watch out here is your cooldown rate. So I'm going to link a tool down below. This was made in the Freesia League. I think it was by Crouching Tuna's community about figuring out attack rate and what your cooldown should be of your General's Cry. Basically, this is your attack rate of your Tectonic Slam with the amount of clones you have. So if you have 5 by the standard, and you have 6 if you have a 20% quality General's Cry. Basically, there's a calculation that goes on. The clones don't all spawn at the same time. They stagger their spawn and they have to get their attack off. Basically, what happened here is you want all the attacks to go off before you summon them again. Because if you summon them again with General's Cry going off, it actually just deletes the old one without their attack going off. So you figure out your attack rate, the amount of Mirage Warriors you have, and this purple number will be your ideal cooldown. You want to be above this number. You want to be above this number, but as close to it as possible. So you get all of your attacks in. DPS on here, it really doesn't matter. You're just worried about making sure you get all of your stuff in. So that's why you can play this build even on Advanced Commander. All you have to do is anoint Deep Breaths. You come into your calcs. I have my General's Cry selected. I look right here. The first line here is your cooldown, 1.9. I'm over it. All my guys will attack, do their 6 attacks, 1 for each clone, and we're good to go. If you haven't seen this build, again, I don't have any gameplay footage of it, so I'm not going to steal somebody else's, but this build will basically clear the entire screen. Tectonic Slam of Cataclysm is really cool and fun to watch. So that's why we're playing it. This is going to be a super chill, basically 1-button build. We'll cast Desecrate on bosses, we'll Cyclone, and then we'll Leap Slam. That's the entire gameplay loop. So, we played Cyclone before, you know how fun this is. We're using Herald of Ash, the entire screen will explode. We're using some big area of effect stuff. I'm pretty excited to play this. Only other thing to talk about was the Juggernaut nodes. We'll do Unstoppable first, and then we'll do the Unflinching, Unyielding. This is big area of effect per endurance charge. We're gonna have 9 on our base build, so that's 9 times 6. That sounds like 54% increased area of effect, and then 8% increased damage. That sounds like 72% increased damage, and then Unbreakable. I'm pretty interested in either Unbreakable or Untiring. I think Unbreakable, though, just for like extra chaos resist. We don't get a ton of chaos res. Other than that, leveling with this build, we're going to do pretty standard Marauder leveling, play Earth Slam until Merveil, switch to Sunder. We're going to play Sunder probably until Act 6, because then we can get Desecrate. We really do want 4 links before we switch to Cyclone and General's Cry setup, so we'll make sure to look out for those. I'll be doing a test run of this tonight still, so come on and check out the stream, link down below, and we'll be live, of course, for League launch tomorrow. All right, I'm going to wrap it up before I keep rambling about this build, but I'm pretty excited. Play a nice chill Cyclone build on League start, and then swap this into a different character later on. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Leave any comments, questions down below, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.